From the West Bank to the World Bank, I'm very happy to welcome to the studio Dr. Hafez Ghanem, Vice President of the World Bank for the Middle East and North Africa. Dr. Ghanem, welcome.
Thank you, Eylon.
The Middle East is now going through a period of profound turbulence. What steps is the World Bank taking to try to stabilise our region?
Well, the World Bank, we are a development institution. Our role is to fight poverty and to work for a shared prosperity. When we look at the Middle East today, what we're trying to do is see how we can contribute to stability in the region, to peace in the region. So we're focusing on four areas of work. The first area is to try to, what we call, renew the social contract, improve relationship between governments and the population. Second area, increase cooperation within the region, regional cooperation on issues like water, for example. The third area is to deal with the refugee crisis, which is
crises plural.
Crises plural, and the fourth area where we're working is to prepare for recovery and reconstruction, especially in economies that have been affected by turmoil.
How much is all this going to cost?
Well, the cost in money terms can be huge, but it's not all money that will be given by donors or by governments. A lot of the reconstruction will be done by the private sector. However, there is a very important point that I want to make. Rebuilding bridges, structures is relatively easy. The real challenge is to rebuild institutions, to rebuild the social fabric, and rebuild trust between communities and among between the citizens and their governments.
You mentioned that your strategic plan includes regional cooperation. Yes. I'm wondering whether you're sensing any interest among Arab governments in reversing their historic boycott of Israel and embracing the opportunities of collaborating with our country.
Well, one of the regional projects that we are supporting is what we call the Red Dead project, which is a project between Jordan, Israel, and the Palestinian Authority, which includes a desalination plant in Jordan with water going to the Dead Sea.
This project is really going ahead?
This project, I hope, is really going ahead. We have been working with our Jordanian counterparts, with the Israeli counterparts, with the Palestinians to put this project together. And this is an example.
But in terms of Arab capitals who don't have diplomatic relations with Israel, is there a sense perhaps in breaching that taboo and taking full advantage of the opportunities presented by cooperation?
I really wouldn't know much about that. I mean, our focus is really, we as a development institution, we invest in fighting poverty in the countries that need it, in the poorer countries in the region. And so we, for example, the Red Dead project that I've just described to you, we are supporting it at the request of the government of Jordan.
Okay, well, beyond the Red Dead project, how is this regional strategy expected to find expression in the case of Israel and the Palestinians? How is the World Bank helping to stabilize this arena as well?
First of all, I believe that it is important for stability and peace in the region to bring about economic development in the Palestinian territories, to fight unemployment in the Palestinian territories. Today, the unemployment rate in the West Bank is more than 20%. In Gaza, it's more than 40%. So creating jobs, creating hope, is one of the main areas where we're trying to operate, and developing the economy. The second area is trying to build the institutions, Palestinian institutions, that provide services for
and is
the
this
population.
the same business as usual, or has there been a shift in the context of this new strategy?
Well, I would say that in the case of the Palestinian territories, our strategy has always been, because remember, we started working in West Bank and Gaza with the Oslo process. So our strategy has always been to support the peace process. And therefore, I don't see a big shift the difference in our strategy is really affecting, say, our work in Lebanon or in Jordan, where we are focusing increasingly in helping those countries deal with the huge influx of Syrian refugees.
Okay, well, I'm glad you mentioned the Oslo peace process and the Palestinian economy, because specifically I wanted to ask you, last September at the AHLC summit in New York, you argued that there are many steps that Israel, the Palestinian Authority, and the international community can take to improve the Palestinian economy even before final status negotiations. What did you mean?
Well, there are several important steps, and I will give you two examples. One example is in terms of supporting Palestinian institutions, supporting the Palestinian Authority. It is important for the donor community to continue providing financial support to the Palestinians. We have seen a decline in the financial support to the Palestinian authorities over the last 2 years, and this obviously creates problems for them. In terms of economic development and creating more possibilities, Israel can help by providing more work permits for Palestinians, for example, by encouraging more Israeli businesses to do subcontracting with Palestinian companies. So there are steps that can be taken. Obviously, in the final analysis, to have long-term growth and development in the Palestinian territories, you need peace and stability.
Dr. Ghanem, thank you very much for your time. Have a safe